We say what they can't radio.
What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Young, Gifted, and Black. Thank y'all for tuning in. Tonight, I have a wonderful individual. We met a few times at a few events, and I really enjoyed her vibes. So I decided to ask her if she would be a guest on my podcast. So introduce yourself. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Jazzy, or Jasmine Luperena. And I'm an artivist, which I do social justice mix of art.
Absolutely. And I got to watch one of your videos. I really enjoyed it. I thought that, what was the name of that video?
Ceilings into floors?
Yes, Ceilings into Floors. And say it again.
Ceilings into floors. Can I explain it real quick?
Yes.
So basically the ceilings are your goals and the floors are like where you are right now. Mm-hmm. So it's about turning your ceilings into floors because you're already accomplishing your goals and you're on to the next level. Absolutely.
I like that. And one of the hooks basically talked about, getting rid of your 9 to 5 and becoming a billionaire, right?
Yeah.
What inspired you to come up with that concept?
Personal experience. I mean, I wrote this song actually while I was working. I was like, what's a 9 to 5 when I got billions on my mind? Because like you get paid a certain amount an hour and it's like, your time is not worth it don't matter if you make $75 an hour. Like you're still worth way more than $75 an hour, So just thinking about what you can do with your time and your ideas and turn your $1 billion ideas into like $1 billion, period.
I mean, I was able to relate to that because growing up, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I never had one particular career that I would connect myself with or that I would say that I wanted to like do for 30 or 40 years because I kind of felt like the whole concept of working for somebody else and working for their dreams, I really couldn't relate to that. And I always wanted to be a person that lived out my dreams, and whether it be I'll become a millionaire or a billionaire, I wanted to be self-made, and I wanted to show other young people that you better off taking a chance on yourself. So I was really able to relate to that song because I think that we're in a time now where although it's great for you to go to school and get a degree, it's great for you to, build your mind up on an educational level. I think that there's nothing wrong with starting your own business, turning your little side hustle into a multi-million-dollar business that can, change your community or change your world, Yes. So, one of my first questions, right, or basically tonight's episode, the title for tonight's episode is Don't Do It for the Gram, Do It for the Culture. And I feel like a lot of our young people right now, even our adults, they spend more time in how they look on social media or how they're perceived on social media than to actually making sure that they're happy, than to actually making sure that they're living out their dreams, than to actually make sure that they're hanging out and spending time with their family and their friends and their loved ones. Like everything is like perception. Like as long as you think I'm doing good, then I'm comfortable with that. But there's so many people that's not really doing good.
You're like, are you doing good or do you
understand what I'm saying?
It?
And then there's so many young people that are getting depressed and getting anxiety and getting and becoming sad because they think that there's so many other people that's living out their dreams and doing what they want to do. When in all actuality, it's everything that you see is not always the case. Some things are illusion based. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear was a Jay-Z line, right? I think that our young people have to understand that you're better off making sure you look good in the real world. Like that's what I spend my time, right? I spend my time making sure that when you see me in real life, that I'm amazing, that I'm dope, that I give you great vibes, that I leave a standing impression on you that you never forget me. So I want you to go on my social media. I want you to, show me love through my sweatshirts and my t-shirts. I want you to show me love on my podcast. But when you see me in real life, in real time, I want that to be way better than what you see on social media, right?
Yes.
So that's been my goal. What do you think about that?
I completely agree with you. I feel like sometimes people can be really dope people on social media and then you meet them in real life and they're on social media. Yeah. And it's like, how can I connect to you as a person if you're on your phone? Absolutely. So I'm the type of person I like to live in the moment. I like to make sure I observe every room I go into. I check out the vibes. I see what's up. I don't only like take people's energy. I make sure that I'm giving people's energy and there's like an exchange and I'm not talking too much, but I'm also listening at the same time, giving people their space. So
I agree. Yeah. And let me ask you a question. Why do you think that so many people care about what other people think about them?
Well, you should ask them. No, I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not one of those people, but from what I do know, the people that I do know that care what people think is really because society has conditioned them to be that way. Like going along with social media, it's put a platform where people tend to compare themselves to other people. Oh, I don't have this many likes. I don't have this many comments. Oh, this person's body is like this. So let me follow this fitness page because this person is doing this. But they don't even know that that person had 6 surgeries already. And they're like, wow, this person has the perfect body, but they weren't born like that. You know, what I think we should focus on is not comparing ourselves with each other and just truly like being in our own lane. Even like these really dope celebrities, sometimes they follow 0 people, and it's not to be bougie. It's just like I need to be focused on like creating my own stuff and not being worried about what anybody else is doing.
No, I agree 100%, and I think that more people need to just shift their consciousness, you know, because our young people, they are getting their self-esteem off of, you know, how many likes they get, or how many people like see their outfit or their sneakers or what they have on. And I think it's more so about what's inside.
Yeah.
And we lost, a lot of people have lost just lost contact with that.
And
What's
lost their
inside.
lives over
Yeah,
it too.
absolutely. My next question was gonna be like, why do you think so many people are dealing with stress, anxiety, and depression right now? I got my master's in social work this summer, or the end of the summer, so I do a lot of reading up on, you know, young people and depression and anxiety and even adults. Like, why do you think at this point in time you have, and then right now you have so many young people that are taking their lives, you know, are unfortunately, you know, hurting themselves for attention. Like, how do you think we got here? Like, where did we go wrong, or what did we do as a society to create this?
Yeah, it's a lot that has been done wrong, and it's gonna take a lot to fix it. I feel like one of the first things that we can do to look forward is to make sure that we let people know the resources that are available to them, like the different suicidal hotlines or like the different groups that you can be in and talk to. Like I thought it was really cool what Logic did with the song. That the title of the song is about like staying alive, and the title of the song is the suicide hotline number. So that opened up so many people's minds to a resource. Maybe they didn't know that there was even a hotline for that.
Absolutely.
You know, um,
I think that it's something that I don't know if they're working on it a lot in schools. I don't know, you know, if it's because every family structure is different. We all carry our own trauma and our own pain. But I feel like as a collective, for people of color, we're all dealing with that trauma at this point, and a lot of us are not getting that help. And then, because of the trauma, because of the pain, we're passing on certain habits to our kids. So instead of giving our young people the mindset of how to deal with adversity when it happens so that they don't have a mental break, we show them mental breaks. We show them panic. We show them what happens when you're not prepared. And then they carry that same concept when they're going through something. But that's not how you handle adversity. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, you have to be taught, or you have to learn how to deal with adversity, because somebody might die, you might lose some money, something might not go your way, but that doesn't mean that the world ends. That doesn't mean that the universe has something personal against you. That just means that it's your time. Like, it's your time to learn. It's your time to go through your go through so that you could become that better person. I watched something a couple of years ago, and it was this rabbi, and he was talking about how people should be more like lobsters. And he said people should be more like lobsters because every couple of months or every year or so, a lobster sheds its a shell and gets a new shell. But it's uncomfortable. So when the lobster gets uncomfortable and it outgrows its shell, it has to grow a new one. But people, instead of us growing a new shell, we connect with a new drug, or we connect with alcohol, or we try to sweep our pain or our trauma or what we went through under the rug. And that within itself creates a situation where eventually you're gonna have a mental break because you're not helping, or you're not working and dealing with the things that you're going through. I've been through a lot in my life. I'm quite sure you have as well. But it's how you dealt with that adversity that made you.
I completely agree. When you ask that question, I'm thinking about like everybody has things that they go through. Everybody has their own story. It's about how you come out at the end. You know, like you can't be a victim to your circumstance. You have to let your character rise above that. And I know it's hard, especially when you're deep down in the problems, coming through a family that has a lot of mental health and like straight up health issues, like extremely bad health issues. It can be extremely hard when you have physical things that are placed in front of you. But sometimes you got to be that person for other people, for your family, for your friends, so let them know, like, I know you're going through this. And you may not be able to change your circumstance, but you can change your mindset. You can change your attitude, because at the end of the day, complaining is not going to change anything.
The word that you just used that I live by is mindset. And mindset is the difference between whether you live in poverty or whether you live with riches and you get that $1 billion that you're talking about on your song. I think that we have our young people have been taught that it's based on your degree, it's based on your family, it's based on who you know, and none of those variables are the reason why you will create success for yourself. How you create success for yourself is by giving yourself that mindset of success. Where you waking up early, where you reading books, where you doing productive stuff, where your network is impeccable because you talking and you meeting with people that's on the same mindset or have a different mindset or a higher mind or a higher frequency than you. I would say they might be a little more wise and they might have more wisdom to give to you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's working on it every single day so that you could become that person. And that's what I learned, that that's what I saw in our community, or what I see in our community is a lot of our people, our young people, they carry that poverty stricken mindset. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? If they were able to shake that, they would be able to create success for themselves. Okay, so the next question is, do you think that this generation is more okay, we asked that question. Sorry. How do you identify the distractions in your life?
I feel like your vibe and your energy, your spirit always knows like what a distraction is, and once you feel yourself distracted, you just gotta like pivot and make that shift and be like, okay, now how can I get back to business? And sometimes distractions come for a reason, because when you get distracted, you're like, oh shoot, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to. So you work 10 times harder now, knowing that you lost time. You're like, let me make up for the time and work even harder. And the ways that you do it is just like remembering your passions, your priorities, time management, focusing on your values and your purpose in life, and just leading with a why instead of what to do. Lead of like, who do you want to be in life, and let everything else be figured out through that.
Absolutely, I agree. So let me ask you a question. Once you identify your distractions, how do you eliminate them?
Me personally, I just talk to myself. To be straight up honest, I'd be like, listen, you're not about to do this right now.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna change. Okay, what do we need to do next? Who do you want to be in life? Now, how can you get there?
Yes.
It's just like a matter of just taking that moment to just recognize it and shift and have that conversation with yourself. Self-talk is an investment. That's what I say. Like
Absolutely.
the same way you would talk to an investor about your finances, you talk to yourself first before anything.
Agree.
Talk to yourself and God, and that's it.
I agree 100%. And how I identify distractions is like I constantly look at my life every day as a constant stream, like what's working for me, what's not working for me. I keep a journal. I talk to myself a lot. And once I identify it, like we have this thing in social work, is once you identify it, you have to rectify it. And that's the same thing in my life, right? Once I identify a problem, I have no other choice but to rectify it. Because if I don't, that problem will grow into a monster that I won't be able to take control over. You understand? So like for me, that's what I do when I see problems, when I see things that are hindering me, or things that are giving me or allowing me maybe to procrastinate too much or not do what I need to do diligently. I get rid of that. It could be people, it could be friends, it could be family. I get rid of the distractions as soon as possible, and I then add habits that are beneficial to my well-being.
Replace them.
Absolutely. I replace my negative habits with good habits. There we go.
Yes.
Next question. Do you think that the average person spends more time dreaming about what they want rather than working on their actual dream?
So the average person, yes, that's why they're the average person. I feel like if you're an extraordinary person, you know that you can dream for a while and let those dreams come in. You said, hold up.
No.
Oh,
yeah.
Let those dreams come into fruition. Once you figure out what you want to do it, and then do it today. Like figure out step by step what you need to do, and then just work on it day by day. Don't let a day go by without taking at least one step forward towards your dreams. Like when I wake up in the morning, I have 3 things that I ask myself every day. What is your intention for today? What's one thing that you can do today to work on your craft for at least 1 hour a day? And then what's something new that you're gonna try today? And with that, I'm always working towards a different goal every single day.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jasmine, for answering that question. Just give me one second.
Yes.
I just have my guest. He finally got here. What's up,
What's
my
good?
brother?
What's good?
How you doing today?
The juice?
Introduce
Doing
yourself.
good. My name's X the Artist, X Xavier Petway. I'm a full-time artist, creator of all things. It's nothing that I really don't do, because at the end of the day, I don't want to be boxed in.
Right.
Not even when I die. Don't box me in no casket. You feel me?
Absolutely. That's my man. You know, my man came in with the rhymes and the vibes.
Right,
you know?
right,
That's the type
right.
of people
Hold
I
up.
keep around me. So you know what's crazy, right? The two people here, like we never really like sat down and had a real conversation, but I'm all about vibes and frequency. And when I met y'all, it was just something about y'all that, you know, made me want to bring y'all on this show. And I feel like strangers is just another word for new friends, right? Because we were strangers to each other at one point, but once we finish this, or even while we doing this, since y'all made it here, I feel like y'all my friends because it's Friday, it's 8 p.m.
Hey, it's
We have
Friday.
kids,
Shout
we
out
have
to Friday.
family members.
That's a
You
fact.
could have been like, yo, I'm busy. You know what I'm saying? You're always busy. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Every time
right,
I talk to X the Artist, he's like, yo, I'm be in the studio at 12 o'clock at night, bro. Hit me
Hey.
after that. So the fact that he was able to say at 8 o'clock, I'm going to come through and be a guest, I really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I
Jay-Z
appreciate it
said,
too.
you could be anywhere in the world, but you here with me tonight. So I appreciate that. The name of tonight's episode is Don't Do It for the Gram, Do It for the Culture. I feel like a lot of people in our circumference or in our community are spending a lot of time on what they think that social media perceives them as, or their people on social media, instead of them actually working on their dreams, instead of them working on their lives, working on the things that they want to make better. And then when these things don't happen and when they fail or when things just don't go their way, they blame it on the community. They blame it on white gentrification. They blame it on white people. But in all actuality, we are beings of God. We are divine. We are what makes the world spin, right?
Right,
Like when we
right.
die, we go back to nature from whence we came, right?
That's a
So
fact.
since I know this, that means that we are powerful beyond measure. That means that we could do anything as long as we believe so.
That's
And I
right.
think a lot of our young people and a lot of people have been convinced to believe that they have limitations. But there's no limitations on people of color. We are limitless. You understand what I'm saying?
That's a
That's
fact.
why we are powered by melanin.
Yes.
And what powers melanin? What powers melanin?
What powers melanin?
The sun.
The sun, yeah.
Can you look at the sun for too
Yeah,
long?
no,
You look
you
at the
can't.
sun for too long, you go blind.
True
And that's
facts.
the thing that powers our body. So you have
True
to
facts.
understand, if you are able to access that energy and you're able to connect with that energy, then you can manifest your reality. It doesn't matter if your family structure is broken. It doesn't matter if you went to a bad school. It doesn't matter if you don't even have the information for the things that you want to do. The universe is so dope that if you put that foot forward and you consistent and diligent, then the universe is going to help you bring that thing to life. That's how I got here. I wasn't good at speaking or doing podcasts or getting my message to the world, but I just kept going.
Yes.
I kept pushing. I kept working. Now I'm on episode 18.
Let's go.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's
We
You
here.
gotta
we
keep
can
it
clap for
going.
that.
And we
I
here.
appreciate that.
And we here.
So I'm gonna ask you the next question, my brother. Why do you think that this generation is more focused on the perception of their actual reality? Or not? I don't like the way that sounds. Why do you think that this generation is more focused on how people perceive them versus on how they actually are? So like I'm like, for example, on Instagram, I might show you pictures of me being happy, family, everything good. That's all you see on my
Yeah.
post. And then when I get off my post, I'm depressed, I'm sad, I feel like I don't got nobody. I want to go jump off the roof. But when I do the post, it's like, yo, everything is good. See me, y'all. I make sure my outfit good, but I
Yeah.
really feel bad inside.
That's a
And I'm
fact.
not working on that. But I'm
Yeah.
working on what you think I'm working on my post. I'm working on that picture. Like, let me make sure everything is good. How do you think we got here in that way?
I honestly think like a lot of things are. Life is about chess, not checkers, right?
Absolutely.
So there's people playing this game that if you don't understand what's really going on, if you don't over understand what's really going on, you become a pawn in that game, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not playing chess and you playing checkers, you're gonna end up playing into the game. So the game is social media, internet. It's all about people showcasing their highlight reel. Nobody's gonna post the real bad stuff or the things of that nature. Like now, the depression and the things of that nature is being shown now, and everything is in balance. So if those things is being shown now, some people are taking advantage of it. Because you got some people that really are out here suffering, and some people are just using it as a trend, and you got to decipher through that as well. And I think a lot of times this word clout has like clouded a lot of people's mindsets, and they being controlled versus playing the game and not being a pawn. And I ain't no pawn. Nobody in this room is a pawn. Cause we playing checkers. I mean, we playing chess. You feel me? We playing chess.
No, I get
You don't want to play checkers,
what
man.
you're saying, bro. You don't want to play checkers, and I think that
Nope. You get checked quick.
the other day I was listening to the Wale album, right? And I have my moments where like I'm an empath, like I connect with the energies around me, right? So I have my moments where I just get sad and I might just be crying. I could be in a car, I could be in a house, but like what people of color have to realize is like every time we turn on the TV and we see somebody get killed, every time somebody call us up like, yo, your friend got killed, every time we come into the street and we be like, yo, it's a lot of negative things going on in the community, we are dealing with a trauma on a regular basis. And if you don't help yourself, that trauma will take over where you do have an anxiety attack. You do have a mental breakdown because you don't even realize how much of an impact it's having on your life, right? So I think that what I said to myself after I finished crying, after I was listening to the album of the Wale album, I think I was listening to a song called Sue Me. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like, and he's basically saying like, sue me, I'm rooting for everybody that's black, right? And I felt that. Like, that's how I feel. Like, anybody that's black, person of color, like, I'm rooting for them.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for all human beings, but for people of color right now, specifically, I'm
Yeah.
rooting for them. And what I said, when I was having this moment, I was crying. I'm like, yo, why this happening to my people? I said to myself, well, hold up. That's not how you think. That's not how your frequency think. You take accountability over your reality. You understand that your creator gave you the tools to manifest whatever reality you see. So I say, yo, why is this happening to my people? And it's something hit me. I said that if you're not the narrator and the writer to your own story, somebody else will be. And for people of color, I think that a lot of our people have gave away their stories so somebody else could write them. So that's why we see so many people of color being murdered. That's why you see so many people of color being incarcerated. That's why we see all of these negative images and stories of our people when there's so many beautiful stories and so many beautiful things happening. So I think that we have to get back to teaching our young people to control the narrative of their own story. What do y'all think about that?
Nah, that's a fact. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta control your own story. You don't want nobody to write your own. You don't want nobody to write your story for you. I mean, at the end of the day, like, for say, like my family, we got like, I come from a long generation of great artists. You feel me? But somebody else wrote our story.
Yeah.
And I learned about it from somebody else writing that story that it was that great. Like I just thought my grandma and them and my aunts and them was quilting. You could Google it right now. G's been quilters. Those are all my people. That's my family. That's my grandma, my aunts, and everything. And somebody else took that story and wrote it for us. My pops used to tell us about the white people used to come down there and just take pictures of them randomly. Yeah. And then this one dude that was an art collector used to just come down there and just get the quilts. You know? And just collect them. And boom, years later, now they're in all the museums from Baltimore to New York, you know? But somebody else telling that story. It's beautiful. But somebody else telling that story. We as a family not reaping from that. So somebody else is telling our story once more. So we gotta, like you said, we gotta stop letting people tell our story. We gotta write our own story, control the narrative.
I think that's why it's so important for me of why I created Koolforlife. Excuse me. Why I wanted to be an entrepreneur, because I said to myself that I wanted to take control over my story. I wanted to take control over of my reality. So if I want to be able to make sure that my daughter and my future kids never have to work again, or they never have to be a part of the system, then I'm going to take control over that narrative. If I want to, take control over the legacy of my family, where we change the world, and we get all type of museums and libraries all over the world because of the philanthropy and all the stuff that we did and gave back, then that's the narrative that I'm going to control. And my family inspired me because, my great grandmother got here in 1950, and at that time the civil rights bill wasn't even passed yet. And she was able to get a house, to get two houses, to have two restaurants, to like make a way. You know what I'm saying? So like when I think about where this entrepreneur spirit comes from, like it comes from her. What do you think about some of the stuff that we were just talking about though, in reference to controlling your own narrative?
Nah, I completely agree with controlling your own narrative. And similar to you, I'm a full-time working artist. We just talk about my song is like, what's the 9 to 5 when I got billions on my mind? I feel like that's controlling your own narrative, because working as an employee, you're getting sips while the government is making the billions of dollars.
Yes.
So taking back our money, investing in Black-owned businesses, investing back into our community, and making sure the dollars stay where they circulate instead of having to outsource, making sure that you're also supporting your friends, buying your friends' art, making sure if you need a video done, you're going to see a man's as a videographer, not outsourcing to some white dude because he knows this person or this celebrity. Like really helping your people to grow and building a platform with them, so that you can make an empire to just take it further.
I agree 100%, and I thank you for giving your point of view on that one.
That's a fact.
So the next question is, this generation is more for, we asked that. Do you focus on your legacy the same way you focus on your attention on social media?
I think social media it should be used as a tool to help uplift. It shouldn't be a tool to flex. It shouldn't be a tool to like you talking about depression. Nobody should have depression. I mean, I go through my own things too. I just put up a post, like a rap testimony about my therapy session that I just had with this beautiful Black healer who works on like your mind, body, and spirit, who's literally like maybe 5 blocks away from here. Shout out to Pain Solutions. And you need to be focused on what's going on in real life and being transparent with people, so that they know that what's going on in social media can also be bad too, and that's okay. And by doing that, you're able to show people like your legacy doesn't always have to be peaches and creams, because that's not what it's always going to be. But like, look, this is what we fought for and this is what we're fighting for, but we're going to make it through.
I agree. I agree 100% on that. What about you, X?
Personally, I just think it's all about the Libra scale of life. Everything has to be in balance. I mean, you can't do too much here and not do enough here, or put too much eggs in this basket and not pay no attention to the other basket.
Yeah.
I mean, if you take life like that, I mean, you can't do no wrong. Honestly, it's all about balance. I mean, the yin, the yang, the 1, the 0. You feel me?
No, I agree 100%, because I'm at a place now where, although my business is growing, although I am connecting myself with more beautiful people, where I see all the dreams that I created come to life, I still feel like I need to read more. I still feel like I need to meditate.
It's always gonna be like that.
I still feel like I need to be balanced. I still feel like yo, for 45 minutes, bro, you gotta meditate for 45 minutes every day. When you wake up, you gotta read a chapter. When you go to sleep, you gotta read a chapter, because you ain't been reading a lot. And like, since I've been out of school, you know, everybody that gets a degree, whether it's an associate's, bachelor's, or master's, once you graduate, you take that break. Like, I need a minute.
You get burnt out.
Why you take that break? It's also in your fingertips to read a book, or to empower yourself with knowledge, because that's what you've been doing for that period of time. So it's in my head always to empower myself with knowledge. I always want to grow. But I learned from one of my mentors that knowledge will only become wisdom it will only become wisdom if I pass it on.
And if you apply it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I don't pass it on, it's only the knowledge that I keep in my mind. But when I pass it on, it becomes wisdom. So that's what I've been doing my entire life. I've been passing on the knowledge that I have, so that I can, grow. And to answer the question that I asked y'all, my legacy is very important to me, because I don't necessarily feel that, like, although I have beautiful parents, I don't feel like there was an intent to create a stronger legacy for like my siblings. And I ain't knocking them because everybody don't think about that at the time. But for me, because of the pain that I've been through, because of the things I've been through in my life, it's imperative that I put my legacy in a position that's gonna be able to take care of my kids. It's gonna be able to take care of my family. It's gonna be able to give back to the community and communities all over the world, and let our young people know that they could be anything. Like my legacy has to be bigger than what I am. I have a quote on a t-shirt that says, "My purpose exceeds my actual being." And that means that what I'm going to do here on this planet exceeds what I actually am as a physical being.
That's like when
Because,
Nipsey passed away. Like, I know people knew about him when he was still alive, but I feel like so many people that didn't know who he was when he passed away, his spirit and his energy just dispersed around the whole community worldwide. And if you didn't know about Dr. Sebi, if you didn't know about cryptocurrency, like now people is finding out about it through his death.
I agree 100%. I wasn't one of those people because I remember 2017, like I went through like this transition where I lost my car, where like my business wasn't doing well, where like life just wasn't going the way that I planned. And like I put the marathon on, you know? And like the marathon, it turned into me reaching out to some people. It turned into me getting a bunch of equipment in my studio. It turned into me teaching myself a skill set. It turned into me becoming my own little artist, right? Right? And before you knew it, I was out the slump. You know what I'm saying? Before you knew it, I had a whole nother degree. Before you knew it, I had a whole nother car. Like before you knew it, all this stuff in the past was in the past. And I had this mindset of success. And I was able to use the fall as motivation. And that whole process was, I was listening to like the marathon, like Nipsey Hussle Victory Lap.
Yeah.
Like that's all I was listening to. Like every day, like you would think I was crazy, but I just kept listening to it. Can we go to a break for a second? We'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
I was like, wow.
All right, we back. Had to take a little small commercial break. I'm thinking big now, like when I'm on ABC, you know, it's commercials. You don't go straight through, right?
Nah, I understand.
So the next question, all right, what's a no? Okay, I asked you that, but let's ask you that same question. What's a 9 to 5 when I have billions on my mind? What does that mean to you?
A 9 to 5, but I got billions on my mind. I mean, at the end of the day, some people are meant to work 9 to 5. So, because everybody's not meant to be an entrepreneur, everybody not meant to be an artist, everybody not meant to be this, that, and the third. But if you have the tools, the drive, the knowledge, and you're willing to put forth to actually make yourself that billionaire mindset, then I always tell people go for it. As far as myself, I already knew from a youngin' that a 9 to 5 was pretty much not my forte. I always been a hustler. I always been selling anything, candy, the lasers.
Right.
I got suspended plenty of times for
Yo,
selling lasers back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't have those. I used to sell them all the time. So I always been a hustler. So I always had that billionaire mindset. And I hustle everything nowadays. Artwork, clothes, anything that you could think of. I make logos. So I just built myself to be who I wanted to be. And I'm still working towards it because at the end of the day, you're working towards it to the end. And honestly, there's never an end to this thing that's called life, honestly.
No, absolutely not. One of my favorite Jay-Z lines is a 9 to 5 is how you survive. I ain't trying to survive. I'm trying to live it to the living and love it a lot. And like I've always had that mindset, like that. I've worked many jobs within my 34 years of living, but the best job that I've ever worked was my own business.
Right,
Like the best job, like I find myself some days working for 15 hours. Only reason why I go home is to see my lady and my daughter. Like if it wasn't for them, I'd probably stay in the studio for 24 hours just because I'd be so hungry on creating. I'd be so hungry on getting them orders out because I understand what you get when you willing to work hard and be consistent and diligent, right? So I stay in the kitchen. One of my favorite quotes right now is stay down till you come up. You know what I'm saying? That's what I got from Nipsey. That like, even when things ain't go his way, you know what I'm saying? Like Well, he said it was dark class now. He said it was dark class now, but it was perfect for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause he felt like, I guess, that even when things got rough, he was able to persevere.
Right.
And I feel that way a lot as well, you know? But I want to show my daughter that she never has to work for anybody. I want her to be self-made.
Right.
I want her to be like a leader in every every aspect of her life. And I want her to aspire other young people to do the same, because that's where we're at. We need to get back to that Black Wall Street mentality, but we also need to generate the money. See, people of color, we always looking for where we gonna get it. The government gonna get it to us, or we gonna get that 40 acres in the mule. But then trillions of dollars is getting spent up by us
And print it up.
Right.
But if we will redirect just the money that we spending, the trillions that we spending as people of color under that umbrella, and we will redirect that into our mental health, and we will redirect that into our community, if we will redirect that into our lives, we wouldn't need help from anybody.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
You understand
That's
what
a
I'm
fact.
saying?
That's a
But
fact.
this is the Matrix.
The-
So you got to
yeah.
keep in mind that in the Matrix, it was only a few million people that was awoke. Everybody else was a potential agent, if you remember.
Facts, yeah.
And that's the real world.
That's a
Right
real
now,
world.
if you're not woke, you're a potential agent. That's not the TVs or the movies. So I come across people that's not woke every day. And that perspective of them not being woke, they could potentially turn into an agent that
Right.
take your life.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got to be aware of those type of people, right? But I think we going off. We getting too deep
Nah.
for 'em.
I
Start
was
talking
gonna say,
the
y'all
Matrix.
know about Central Park, about what Central Park was before it was Central Park.
It was owned by
yeah.
people of color. It was like this
It was
beautiful land.
it was a beautiful black village that, you know how the same way the Jewish people have like their own ambulances and they have their own banks and
Yes.
We
their
had a
own
lot of
everything.
those.
Yes.
That's exactly what it was, and it was stripped down. And now to be on Central Park, right across the street, you in $1 million apartments,
Yeah. That's what
completely
they do.
erased.
Yeah, they would. That's the agenda. The agenda is always to erase what we create sometimes, and that's what. At the end of the day, we have to get the economics, but we also have to be prepared for whatever comes with the fact of getting power. Like,
And
people have to understand that. And
Health, too.
Health is power.
Health is definitely power.
Health is wealth. So in that sense, like when you said about the Central Park thing, you got places like Move, you got places like Black Wall Street, where people have done a lot of these things that we're talking about as well, and have been damaged because they empowered themselves, but something imploded because the government just wasn't with it. They knew what was gonna happen.
Right.
Because
Too
us with power, it's like they know what's gonna happen.
People of color get their power from 5 places that I just came up with in my mind. The universe, the Mother Earth, the planet, from each other, from our family, and from unconditional love. Like, those 5 things is where we get our power from. When we connect those 5 things together, we're unstoppable. All the things that has happened, the Vietnam War, the incarceration, or the judicial issue, or the judicial problems that we have that lead to all of our young black people getting sent to jail, all of these different poverty-stricken communities that's plagued by drugs and guns and violence. These were creations of the society that we live in, so that they can slow us up, because really that's all they could do.
Yep.
All the system or the oppressive system could do is slow us up, because we are the universe. So as much as they try to kill us or send it, or that oppressive system works on putting us in jail or making sure that we are just regular, people that's not just doing average things, the more we rise, like Maya Angelou said, the more that we are becoming billionaires, the more we are starting businesses, the more we are starting schools. They understand that the more they bury, I don't think they get that the more they bury us, the more that they create trees of higher plants, of higher minds. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that we just forgot. I think that our people forgot who they are. I think that we forgot that the power is with the people. We forgot that we can take control over our realities. We can change our communities.
Yes,
we can
we
fix
can.
our family structures. We can fix our schools. But it has to be intentional, and we have to do it. We don't need to be saved. We're not beings of people that came here to be saved. We came here to do the saving.
Yeah,
You
that's
understand
a
what I'm
fact. That's a
saying?
fact.
So if we came here to do the saving, before you start saving other people, you got to make sure you right.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you got all your
Take
faculties.
care of
You know
home.
what I'm saying?
Right,
You got to take
right,
care of
right,
home.
right.
I can't come save Jasmine and my whole house is falling apart. Yo, I'm going to come
Right,
save X, but I ain't got nowhere to live. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, I can't help you if I can't help myself.
Uh-huh.
Next question, right? If you had power, if you had superpowers, and you could take away 3 problems for people of color, what would they be? You go first, Jazz.
3 problems. I would take away all the problems. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to narrow it down to 3.
Whatever come to mind.
Mental. I would say mental health, and it would have to be like the home. Like when we talk about mental health, taking care of, like making sure that it's not a taboo, that we're allowed the resources, and like, therapies free, that we're able to see things for what they really are, and health as far as like things being placed into our communities to promote diabetes, to promote high cholesterol, to literally create a genocide off of the lack of healthy food in our communities. And the third would just be mind, body, spirit. It would be for people to recognize their power, to take away any problems of doubts or thoughts of lack, any systemic oppressions, the prison systems, freeing all our people for prisons, completely abolishing prisons, and creating transformative justice centers where we figure out why are they like this in the first place. Like you can't send someone to prison for life for killing someone when you're not even asking them why did they feel like it was right to kill this person, what led up to this part in their life, how was their childhood, like just seeing people for who they really are.
That was amazing. I appreciate that answer. You go X.
3 things if I had superpowers. I Men in Black the whole thing, honestly. Wipe it all away.
That's my man.
Because honestly, man, it's like it's gotten really to the point where it's like people have really, really, really forgotten themselves. And the piggyback back to the Matrix part, how some people are woke and some people not. It's just more in the sense it's like art imitates life. So with the Matrix and other movies, we are watching what's really going on, but taking it as entertainment. So I would take away clout
Yep.
and overall clout as far as like the mental driven to feel like you have to be known versus wanting to better thyself. I'll take away that. That goes back to the Andy Warhol quote. He said it way back in the day. There's gonna come a time where people and all people will have their 15 minutes of fame. And that quote sticks with me because it's like, yo, we are living in that time where that's where everybody's trying to go to. 15 minutes of fame. And they don't care what they do for it. Nobody cares. So the last thing I'll probably take away is oppression. To piggyback my man Stokely Carmichael, he said an oppressed people are paranoid people. So if I take away oppression, that'll take away the paranoia and the mental health. It'll piggyback what you said. The mental health with everybody, it's like boom, health is wealth, and we need to eat good out here. I mean, like it's a working step. Nobody's telling you to start eating plants tomorrow. We just trying to tell you, just watch what you eat, read about what you eat, understand what you eat, because you are what you eat. You feel me?
Right.
So
Oh man, those are some great answers. Let me see. If I had superpowers and I could do 3 things or take away 3 problems for people of color, the first one would be fear. I would take away fear, right? The second one would be doubt. I would take away doubt. The third one would be God bless you. The third one would be I would take out or I would add the solution of unconditional love, like to like I read a quote, I don't know who it's by, but they said like what's the difference between unconditional love and love? And they said love is like when you see a beautiful tree and you pluck the leaf and be like, oh, this is dope. Unconditional love is when you see a beautiful tree and you allow it to be. You don't
Right.
pluck it, you don't
Right.
damage it, you don't
Facts.
take nothing away from it. You just
Right.
allow it to be. And I would add that component with our people
Yeah.
because we are beautiful.
Right.
We are the like I could tell we are God like people
Right.
because it's like God really created us in his or her image. And I think that we only go wrong based upon the because like when I look at my daughter and I'm playing with her, she don't understand that hateful stuff. She don't all that other stuff that didn't come with her. That didn't come from
That's
the
when you
ego.
realize it a lot.
So
You got
Right,
kids,
that's
right.
a learned characteristic.
Mm-hmm.
You learn how to hate. You learn how to be evil. You don't come out like that. So that means that the new illiterate of the 21st century are no longer the people that can't read or write. The new illiterate of the 21st century are people that can't learn and unlearn. If you can't unlearn the bad habits and the bad mindsets that you have been taught to hinder your people, then you will never get out of that trap. But if you can unlearn it, if you could get rid of it, you could add new thoughts and a new mindset, then you could create any type of reality for yourself.
Nah, that's a fact.
So those are the three things that I would do. Because I think that we're such a beautiful race, and I think that, I know that all other races were created from us. We was the first, we was the last. We started civilization. We introduced this world to so many beautiful things, and I think that a lot of our people just forgot.
And we can bear all. We can birth any type of child.
Yeah. Our
So
woman
that
could
tells
birth
you right,
the
God,
Chinese,
right
the
there.
white, the blue, she
Yep.
could whatever, she could birth it. And
Exactly.
so like, and then it goes back to like the idea that we've been taught, because when I was younger, we used to be like, yo, I want an exotic woman, yo. And then you be like, when you get older and you really understand your spirituality and who you are, who your people are. Our women are the exotics. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
there is no other exotic women outside of the black woman, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Amen to
it don't
that.
get more exotic than that.
Amen.
But that's how mind fucked we are. We're like, yo, I want the exotics. Like, yo, let's go over here. Not saying that anything is wrong with those women.
Exactly.
But our women, the women that look like us, are the most exotic women in the world.
Exactly.
So I think that we have been taught the wrong information on purpose.
On
Because the powers that be, that oppressive system knows that when people of color have their family structure together, when they have no doubt and unconditional love in their heart for each other, we're unstoppable. You see what happens.
Right,
The immigration bill, the civil rights bill, the
Right,
voting rights
right,
bill.
right.
When we get on it,
The
we
revolution?
create. The revolution will be televised.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
We get on it.
We
Yeah,
gonna tell
that's
about
right.
it.
And I just feel like, oh man, I love the way this is going. It's like 6 minutes left. Let's keep it going.
You good?
Last question. What do you think is the biggest thing that is stopping the masses of people of color from being able to create success for themselves? That's a deep one right there. Who want to go first?
I'll go first. Nah, ladies first. You want to go first?
You go first.
All right. I was just trying to be polite,
Nah,
but
that's how I go, bro. She
I got
passed it
you.
off.
I
She
got
passed
you.
the baton right back.
I got you. I say go R.I.P. Long live the legend Michael Jackson. It starts with the man in the mirror, but we can't forget the women too. You feel me? But it starts with the man in the mirror. Basically, it's like we need to understand like it starts within, and if you don't start within, it's not gonna change for you. You can't. Nobody can change your situation but yourself.
Right.
At the end of the day, God will definitely send some tools, send some folks in your life to help you out, but you still have to understand that person in the mirror to understand those tools were sent by God and not by some other entity. So you gotta understand that power within yourself, within that mirror. People gotta understand, man, when we were slaves, man, we didn't have no mirrors for a reason. People don't understand the power of a mirror. You need to wake up sometimes and really look in that mirror and look and see who that person is in that mirror and really get to know that person.
Right.
If you want to really make a change in this world and really want to bring change in your own self, your own like circumference and vortex, you have to understand that person in the mirror, man.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree completely. And just to like veggie back off of him, the mirror represents the reflection, you know? What you need to do is reflect on your good and bad in life. Be grateful for the good and be grateful for the bad, and just realize how you can learn from that bad. Because the only thing that's stopping you is yourself. It is that person in the mirror. And what you can do is look in that mirror and just reflect and just grow, evolve every single day, whether you crawling, whether you taking a baby step, whether you flying. Like, it doesn't matter. Progress is infinite as long as you're progressing,
That's a fact.
I agree. What do I think one of the main things that's stopping the masses of people of color from creating success for themselves? They're not taking control over their story. As I said before, and they're not taking control over their mind. Before you can control your reality, you have to control your mind. So if you can't quiet your mind right now, like if you're watching this video, if you're in the house right now, if you can't turn this video off and quiet your mind, I'm talking about not let any thoughts in and only hear what's in the moment, then you don't have control over your mind. And if you don't have control over your mind, there's no possible way for you to get control over your reality. It's impossible. And I think a lot of our young people are working on the opposite. Like, I control my reality and I control the reality around me. Then I start making myself feel better so I can control my mind. But that's not really it. That's a trick because you'll never get access to control your mind like that. If you want to control your reality, you learn to control your mind. If you want to manifest $1 billion for your family, if you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, control your mind. I'm talking about learn how to control your mind. Learn how to quiet your thoughts where you can hear a penny drop. Because spirit, and also learn the difference between spirit and ego.
Yeah. Facts.
Spirit is very subtle. It's very divine. It's very, it doesn't get loud. It doesn't get sarcastic. Spirit is very to the point. But spirit doesn't speak over noise.
Right.
So if your ego is giving you too much noise, yo, you this, you that, you should have did this, you should have that, this person that, I want to do this, I want to do that. Spirit is not gonna be like, yo, go left. No,
Facts.
you gonna the ego will keep telling you to go right, and that might be your last turn, right? So I think a lot of our people have been given this ego so that they don't control their mind, because they understand that once we control our mind, we tap into that divine place where we're unstoppable.
Right.
There's no machine, there's no video game, there's no form of control. Because if that was the case, then me and you, we would be controlled right now in 2019. And I have full control over my mind.
Me too.
You have full control over your mind.
Yep.
So that means also that our covenant is a little different.
Right.
Because our ancestors want us to have control over our
That's
mind.
a fact.
Everybody is not gifted that, because everybody's covenant is different. It's like witches. It's like warlocks. It's like depending upon what type of covenant you have, if it's big enough, you could access a lot of different power.
Yeah.
And that's how we are, right?
Yep.
So we got to get back to connecting with our ancestors.
Right.
Facts.
Ashe. We got to
Ashe.
get back to connecting with the people that actually die for us. Not the illusionary people that die for us. Not the illusions of people that die for us. I'm talking about the real people that said, intentionally, I'm giving my life so young people that look like me and you can have a chance.
That's a fact.
We have to keep that in mind, that they gave us their energy, so we got to do something with it.
That's a fact.
Last words, where could they find you at? Where could they hear your music at?
Blessed. I just want to say thank you so much for the
Absolutely.
opportunity to be on this podcast. And thank you for being here as well. Both of y'all have so much words of wisdom. I'm going to go home.
appreciate you.
Well, not
Please.
home, but I'm going to go out super blessed. And you could find everything on my website, which is www.jazminluperen.com. You can find my music on Spotify, Apple, Tidal, everything. And I just dropped a new music video, so you can check it out, about your $1 billion ideas.
Dope. X, where could they find you at? Where could they get your work done? If they need artwork done, or they want something put together, where could they connect with you at?
You can connect with me on any social media, X_the artist, THE artist. As far as my website goes, it's www.xtheartist.us. As far as like, just hit me up in the DMs, hit me up on Twitter, it don't matter. I'm pretty much on everything. Try to keep it all as one. So X_the artist, and I appreciate you having me on this show today.
Anytime, bro.
real.
My name is Carrick Wise. I represent Koolforlife Inc. This is another episode of Young, Gifted, and Black. I take my my intention, I take this from Nina Simone. My goal is to show people that look like me how beautiful and how amazing they are. My goal is to show people that look like me that their ancestors are people that created civilization, that we started this. Like we are the reason why, so many things are beautiful within this country and within this world. And I want to remind you of that. Don't forget what's inside you. Don't forget that whatever greatness, whatever beauty, whatever it is that you're looking for is inside you. So like that
That's a
Yu-Gi-Oh
fact.
cartoon or TV show, everything that you need, you just have to take a labyrinth walk within yourself, within your own spirit, and you'll find what you're looking for. That greatness that you looking is deep down inside you. You just gotta dig and you gotta stay down till you come up. Check me out, Koolforlife_Inc. You can check out my website, koolforlife.com. Thank y'all for staying, coming and showing us love and just watching us every week that we do this podcast. I appreciate y'all, and we'll talk soon.
Peace.